morning and welcome back to Football League World TV. We've had a few days off here on the channel, but we are back for the EFL betting show. My name is Sam Rourke, the Chief Editor of Football League World.co.uk, and I'm joined by two of my colleagues, Ben Wignall and Billy Mulley, to run through some of the best bets across the EFL this weekend. Ben, how you getting on this morning?
Yeah, all good. First time I've been on the betting show for a while. You must have realised my tips weren't coming in quite as often as they should be, but a bit of freshening up away from the show. Hopefully I've got some good ones to come this morning.
Yeah, fingers crossed for some luck this weekend. Billy, how you getting on?
Yeah, good, thank you. Looking forward to a shot at redemption after my banker was absolutely disastrous last week. Had Forest Green to beat Barrow and they got thumped 4-0. So yeah, hoping that it's going to be a better week than last.
Yeah, fingers crossed. If you haven't watched the EFL betting show here on Football League World TV before, we basically run through 4 different selections: a banker, an accumulator, a value bet, and a wild card. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So get yourself in the comments. Have you got any bets for the EFL action this weekend? If you do, send them in and we'll get them up on the show and discuss them. Right, let's start off with the bankers. Just another note before we get into it, please do gamble responsibly, 18 and over. Right, Ben, what is your banker in the EFL this weekend?
It's really tough at the minute to pick these picks. You know, the end of the season's normally a very hard time to try and decide who's going to win or not, because a lot of teams we've got nothing to play for at this stage of the season. But I've gone with someone as a banker who have got something to play for, and that's Exeter, who are playing at home to Rochdale. Now, they're obviously in the League 2 promotion race. It's still pretty tight up there. They're currently in second position, and you know, Exeter have been really good for them since January the 1st. They've only lost 3 times and they've won 13 games, which is, you know, pretty remarkable. I think the unbeaten run got snapped, obviously, on Easter Monday against Tranmere, which is always a pretty difficult place to go, so you can't really fault them for losing there. But they'd won about 5 or 6 games in a row leading up to that, and against a team like Rochdale, who are in mid-table, nothing to play for, obviously don't have any pressure on them, but I just think Exeter will be up to the challenge they have shown in recent weeks, especially at home, that they've been pretty formidable. So I can see them getting back to winning ways here. They're around the best price, 4 to 6 with most places, which is pretty skinny. But like I said, it's very hard to, you know, be confident with many picks at this stage of the season. But I'm pretty confident with the Grecians.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Exeter obviously in the thick of an automatic promotion battle in Sky Bet League 2. There we go, Ben, opting for Exeter as his banker this weekend. Billy, what's yours this weekend?
I've gone for a slight risk given recent sort of the last couple of games, but MK Dons to beat Morecambe at 11 to 20. I just feel that MK Dons, even in their last 2 defeats, they've played very good football. That they've, you know, I think Carl Robinson came out and said that, you know, MK Dons should have been a couple of goals up by the break. And against Sheffield Wednesday, they played really well in the second half, a really strong display. So I think they're going to be looking to capitalise on Rotherham's sort of dodgy patch of form of late. I know saying that MK Dons have now lost 2 in a row, but I just feel MK Dons are in this position where they're going to take full advantage of Rotherham's shaky position. Looking at MK Dons throughout this season as well, they're just a team that consistently got better. I don't think too many people would have believed that anybody was going to trouble the top 2 of Wigan and Rotherham a few weeks back, but excellent form has got them into this position, and I do feel they're going to take advantage of Morecambe, who have not been in the worst of form, but away from home they haven't been the toughest of competition, and especially against a side like MK Dons, a level above where Morecambe are at the moment. And at their home ground, MK Dons have been very strong this season. So at 11 to 20, I think MK Dons should hopefully do better than my banker last week.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you there, Billy. Would be a massive 3 points for Liam Manning's side this weekend in their hopes of automatic promotion from League 1. There we go, Billy opting for MK Dons as his banker this weekend. Right, let's touch on the accumulators next. Just a reminder, get yourself in the comments if you've got any EFL bets this weekend. Ben, what's your Aki for this weekend?
Well, I've gone with a 4-4 like I normally do, but again, like I said, tough to pick this week. I've gone with extra, obviously, as my banker on there. Championship, real tough bag to pick from, but I've gone surprisingly maybe with Derby County. Now, obviously, the pressure will be off with relegation confirmed to League One, unfortunately for them, and they've got Bristol City at home, who, again, nothing to play for, but I think it's pretty common knowledge that Derby's home form's a lot better than their away form's been, and I just think they can probably pip Bristol City here if they're on the top form. Obviously, we've seen the team spirits, even despite relegations, at very high. So I think they were looking to go out with a bang and have some confidence going into next season. Going with Accrington Stanley as well at home to Lincoln. Accrington, they can be a mixed bag. Away from home, they seem to not be able to buy a win, but at home they've been reasonably solid enough in recent weeks, and just think Lincoln, obviously they've underperformed this season after the playoff final appearance last season, and their season's petered out, Aki's season's petered out, so I can just see Aki giving their home fans something to cheer about in the final weeks. And I'm also stuck in League One with Wigan. Now this is a tough one because they're playing Plymouth, who don't seem to score many, but they don't seem to concede many either. So I was tempted to go with a draw for this, but I just think with Wigan, they just need 1 or 2 more points to secure the automatic promotion, and they'll be well up for this one. Hopefully they'll get a decent crowd behind them. They should do, with the promotion being pretty much almost secure with 1 more win. And at 4-5, it's a tough one, but I can see him pulling through and just getting past Plymouth, even though they're chasing for promotion themselves. That fourfold of Exeter, Wigan, Derby and Accrington is 11.92 to 1 with Sky Bet. If anyone's accumulator is going to come in this week, there's going to be some shock results, I imagine, up and down the leagues, with bottom clubs trying to scramble for their lives and top clubs getting nervous. So good luck if you are going to get a winning accumulator this week.
Yeah, it certainly is that sort of time of year where them strange results do pop up. Like Billy said, before we came on air, I had Forest Green in my accumulator last Easter weekend. They got battered 4-0 by Barrow. But there we go. Let us know in the comments what you think of Ben's accumulator for this weekend. We'd love to get your thoughts in on this live show. Billy, what's your Aki for this weekend?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think Ben sums it up perfectly. There's going to be some complete freak results, and it's that time of year where you see somebody's accumulator comes in that has some very, very questionable choices, but it comes in for some reason, for one reason or another. But I've gone starting with MK Dons to beat Morecambe. I've also gone for Exeter to beat Rochdale, like Ben. Exeter have been very good at home. I don't think they've lost a league game at home since December, and they're averaging 2.1 points per game at their home ground too. So that they have proven to make St James's Park a fortress during this League Two campaign. Playing a Rochdale side that have shown signs of improvement in recent weeks, 10 points from their last 5, but away from home they've been pretty woeful this season, 0.86 points per game. So that one, as a single selection, was 7-10. Then I've also got Nottingham Forest to beat Peterborough, one that's very tough to go into. This is the kind of game that could quite easily be 1-0 to Peterborough, given what is at stake at the moment, and given the strangeness of the Championship. But Forest have just looked a level above in recent weeks. 6 wins in the last 7. They've scored 19 goals and conceded 3 in that time. They're choosing their right moment to peak, and even after a little bit of a setback at Luton, they've responded brilliantly with a 4-0 victory at West Brom. And as I said, I think they are a level above Peterborough, and showing top 2 form since Steve Cooper has come in, and attacking threats all over the pitch. It's hard to argue with a Forest win at the moment, and as an individual selection, that's 4-6. And then one that maybe doesn't go with logic, more heart at this point, but my hometown Stevenage, I've gone for them to beat Tranmere 6-4, and I think it's I think it's a combination of Stevenage starting to show good signs under Steve Evans and combined with the fact that Tranmere haven't been convinced by them this season. Again, haven't shown the worst of form in recent weeks, but they've when they do win games, they manage to just about do it. And I think they might become a little out of ideas against the Stevenage side that are continuing to try and escape the League Two drop. And as I say, Steve Evans is a manager that seems to be a master when it comes to winning these competitive games, the games that seem to be, on the knife edge. So, that's 6-4 at a single selection, and the four-fold accumulator is 9.97 to 1.
Okay, there we go. Let us know in the comments what you make of Billy's accumulator for this weekend. Des Oldham, great to have you in the comments. One from each league, Aka. Forest, Portsmouth, Exeter. That treble pays 4-1. Keep the comments coming in. Have you got any bets on this weekend in the English Football League? Right, let's touch on the value bet next. Ben, where is the value this weekend in the EFL?
Well, considering Middlesbrough's poor form in recent weeks, he seems to be under a little bit of pressure. And I don't know if Chris Wilder coming out and saying that he's definitely staying might make a difference this weekend. But I've gone against him, and I've gone with Swansea at home to beat Middlesbrough at 11-5. I think with Swansea unbeaten in 7 games, only lost one of the last 7 at home. That was to a Fulham side when they had 10 men as well. Obviously, Ryan Manning got sent off early in that one, and they kind of paid the price for that. But in recent weeks, Swansea, I know they've had a couple of draws in there, but they've kind of seemed to be thriving with no real pressure on them. They've not looked like they're going to be challenging the playoffs, and they've not looked like a relegation team. So, Russell Martin's kind of released the shackles off his players, and they're kind of flowing at the minute. Obviously, you'll know, Sam, they drew against your team, Reading, 4-4. 4-1 up they were, so they know how to score goals. Obviously, they need to stop leaking them like they did against Reading. But back at home, I can see them being a bit more comfortable. Obviously, Middlesbrough have got threats, obvious threats going forward, and they're very attacking under Chris Wilder, but they just look really shaky in recent weeks. Perhaps the pressures of the playoff races potentially getting to them, and maybe a bit of burnout because they've had a long season with the FA Cup involved as well. But 11-5, I think Swansea a really good price. Piro's in good form, Obafemi's in good form. So, yeah, Swansea at home to Middlesbrough was my long shot of the week.
Yeah, I certainly could see that, to be fair to you. As I said, I saw Swansea last weekend against Reading, and in that first half, one of the best first halves I've seen from any championship side this season, just playing with so much freedom. Like you say, the shackles do seem to be off with Russell Martin's side right now, and they are thriving. There we go. Ben opting for Swansea as his value bet at 11-5. Does anyone think that's got a shout this weekend? Let us know in the comments. Billy, what's your value bet this weekend?
Unfortunately, I've gone the same. Swansea to beat Middlesbrough. It was bound to happen. But yeah, I think as Ben's already said, 23-10 to beat a side that have been really, really shaky in recent weeks. Middlesbrough haven't scored in the last 4 games and have taken a point from them as well. They have come up against some tough opposition, but not scoring a goal when you've got sort of the attacking quality that they possess on paper is quite criminal, really. And it just seems that they may have peaked a little bit too early, and they're starting the decline now. Of course, they still have the quality to go out and win this game, but you can't argue with form. As you say, Swansea were superb in the first half against Reading. They've been really impressive the last few weeks. As Ben said, they're unbeaten in 7, picked up 15 points in that time. Sort of their attacking threats are starting to really, really impress. Hannes Wolf is someone that took a while to fully integrate himself into the squad, but now he looks a real creative threat. Pirro as well, a key consistent source of goals. At 23-20 for Swansea being the home side, and considering that they've accumulated 1.65 points per game at home this season, it's difficult to make much of a case for a Middlesbrough side that are 5-4. It seems quite bizarre, but I guess markets do tend to back the teams that are still playing for something at the moment, and I think that's probably plays a big part as to why we're seeing these odds. But yeah, 23-20 for Swansea to continue a good end to the season. I think that's good value in the EFL this week.
Yeah, definitely. I think that might be the first time we've had a same value bet selection on an EFL betting show. So we shall see on that one. Let us know in the comments. Have Swansea got a chance against Borough on Saturday? Is the value there? Let us know. Right, we've got one more selection from both Ben and Billy next, and that is the wild card. Okay, Ben, what's your wild card this weekend?
Well, a lot of my wildcard picks this season have been goals related, and I've gone the complete opposite way, and I've gone for something with no goals in. When I think a game's gonna be a goal bonanza, it tends not to be. So I'm going with a 0-0 between Wycombe Wanderers and Sheffield Wednesday, which is 10-1. They've both scored a lot of goals in League One this season. Wycombe have got 72 and Sheffield Wednesday got 71. They've both got some really good attacking players, Rourke, McCleary, Berahino, the list's endless, and it does suggest there could be goals, but I just think for some reason it'll go the other way, and the defences might come out on top. They've both got solid defences in their own right as well, and I think with both teams going for a playoff place, it might end up being a bit of a cage affair in the end, and it being a goalless draw. So that's 10-1 with most bookmakers, and now I've said that there's going to be a goal in the first few minutes. It's with my jinxing powers, but yeah, I think it's worth a shot with what's on the line, and just the law of opposites, really.
Yeah, we shall see. Obviously, Sunderland Plymouth last weekend, that was a game that potentially promised goals. That ended up 0-0. So you never know. Could well cancel each other out at Adams Park this weekend. Billy, what's your wild card?
Yeah, Ben's drifted away from the norm. I've stuck with my typical Alexander Mitrovic related wild card. I've got Mitrovic to score 3+ goals, and I know they're coming up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth got a very positive result to sort of bolster their automatic promotion charge, but we saw when they last won quite comfortably, they followed that up with a shaky result. And Fulham are a side that don't have to be as dominant to score lots of goals, and the creativity within that squad. Mitrovic often being the one that puts the ball in the back of the net. 40 goals this season. It's just a brilliant achievement so far. And I know Bournemouth do have a very tight defence, but it's against Fulham. Fulham have been a level above. That's why they've already been promoted. And Mitrovic is not a player who's going to be sitting there thinking, "Oh, I've got 40 goals this season. I'm happy with that." He's going to be, trying to break every record that's still in his sight. And I can see Fulham winning this one quite convincingly, and it wouldn't be a surprise if Mitrovic gets all 3 goals, or it could even be more than that. He's just one of those players that you can't put an expectation on him this season because he's been that good, and that is at 33-1.
Oh, very bold selection there, but a very juicy price. Like that one, Billy. Let us know in the comments. Can you see Mitro scoring 3 or more goals against Bournemouth this weekend? Let us know. Right, well, that brings the EFL betting show here on Football League World TV to an end this morning. Ben, Billy, thanks for joining me on the show. We've got one more show coming up for you later on today, and that is the EFL weekend preview show. Alfie Burns at the wheel for that one. Looking ahead to a really, really exciting weekend of EFL action. We've got plenty coming up on the channel next week. Myself and Ned Holmes will be at the 2022 EFL Awards in London on Sunday. We're going to be capturing so much content from that event, so make sure to stay tuned to Football League World and Football League World TV next week for all of that. But from myself, Ben, and Billy, we shall see you soon.